Are dangerous substances dissolved in water always dangerous to us?
No.
No. In teeny weeny itsy bitsy amounts, it's safe. Actually, every year your parents get a little pamphlet from the City of Oak Ridge, explaining to them all the different things that can be found in our water and in how many amounts. How much amount. Okay? How about harmless stuff, like the stuff they put in, like fluoride or the chlorine? Are they always safe? No. Insufficiently large concentrations, they are harmless. They are harmless. I'm sorry, in sufficiently large concentrations, they're no longer harmless. They're dangerous. So, how do they know? How do they measure? Well, one of the ways in which they measure is by using math. So remember, every day in chemistry you should have two things out. Number one, well, that would be nice, your calculator, and number two, your best friend. So, solution concentration is a measure of the amount of solute in a specific amount of solvent. The amount of solute in a specific amount of solvent. One of the ways in which they can report to you how much sugar, how much salt, how much mercury is in the water is by percentages. For example, what would a 5% solution of salt water consist of? Any guesses? How would you make 5%? What?
5% salt.
Well, I can't measure in percent.
That would be 50.
5 grams of what? Okay, we're on the right track now. Thank you, Isaac. 5 grams of salt in how much water? That is the most common answer, and you're absolutely wrong. Let me explain to you why. If I was to say, hey, I want to find the percentage of boys in this room, what would I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I first count what?
All of people.
Total. And then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now what do? I have 10 boys, 18 total. Divide. I have 10 boys, 8 girls, 18 total. What do I divide?
The total, and then the boys by the total.
Boys by the total girls or boys by the total?
Boys by the total.
Okay, you did boys by the total girls. Think about it. 5 grams. It should be not 100 grams of water, but yes, it should be the 100, Isaac, should be the total. Not 100 grams of water, but 100 grams of salt and water together. So the answer should have been 5 grams of salt, and then however much is left over to make 100 grams of water, of solution, which should be 95 grams. Got it? But the most common mistake is people say, well, it's 5 grams of water, of salt, and 100 grams of water. That's like saying 5 guys and 100 girls, when really it should have been 5 guys over 105 kids total. All right. So, how do you calculate percent composition? Add the mass of the solute and the solvent together. Divide the mass of the solute by the together. Multiply by 100. So, number 22. How do we do these things? This is the number of grams that you're dissolving divided by the total amount. So, I'll do the first one with you, and then let's see if you can't do the other two by yourselves. All right, so, oops.
I think you broke it.
I think I broke it.
I think you broke it too.
20 grams is what gets dissolved in how many?
80.
60 grams? No, it's 60
Why?
plus 20.
Why?
Because it's the part divided by the total. The part divided by the total. So it's 20 divided by 80 times 100 is, should be 25%, right? 25%.
Wait, how did we do this?
You take the part that's dissolving and you divide it by the total. Both the part that's dissolving, because it's the total. 20 is what's dissolving in 60 grams of water. So it's 20. Pardon me?
Why don't we just put 80 in the first?
Okay, fine. I was just doing it step by step.
Jeez, Nicole.
All right, do letter B.
Stop, be considerate, Nicole. Hey, leave me alone. God.
Bully?
Seriously. We've already told you about this.
You know, I'm capturing all of this.
Oh, yeah.
Just thought you might want to know that. Now all of the world knows
Nicole's a bully.
Nicole's a bully. Because it's the part, Nicole, divided by the total. Just like if I was to ask you, okay, find me the percentage of girls in this room, what would you do? Count up the girls, count up the number of girls, and
How many other people there are?
how many total people there are.
Okay, total.
Okay, so this would be girls, and this is girls plus boys.
But I thought it was.
Okay, so 15 divided by 115 times 100 is?
17%. I think I got that wrong. It's easy.
Is it 17%?
13.
I got 13.
I got 14.
All right, don't let me ever ask Serenity for help. 13%. All right, try this one.
That looks like a.
So 30 grams is the part. 30 grams, and the other part is 120 grams.
Oh, I know what I did wrong.
So 30 grams divided by the total, which is 150 grams.
I thought it was just 120. It's really hard. I know what I did. I used 20 instead of 15.
It's the total, Nicole. The total. It is the total of both parts. So
Both of them added together.
it's both of them added together. So it's the part divided by both parts added together. Because a percentage is out of everything. So 30 divided by 150 is,
How am I going to do it if I don't understand it?
I can understand
Because you gotta understand it.
why you're doing it.
what is it?
20.
20% again?
I got 25. What is the problem?
Hey, your calculator
Oh.
might be in degrees.
Why does yours have
30 divided by 150. What's 3 divided by 15?
times 100? It's 20.
No,
I didn't even
20%.
got it.
Okay, that's 5%.
I don't even know what I'm doing, but I got it.
Well, then have it on degrees.
Good job, Nicole.
There are other ways of reporting this same concentration. For example, every year you're going to get from the city of Oak Ridge, you're going to get a little pamphlet explaining to you all the stuff, all the impurities that are in water. The EPA mandates that happens. Okay? So, every year you get one of these pamphlets. They're not going to report things to you in percentages. They're going to report them to you in parts per 100, or parts per 1,000, or even parts per million or billion. 5 parts per 100 means 5 atoms of, let's say, calcium per 100 total atoms. That's a lot, actually. 5 parts of calcium per 100 total atoms is a lot. In this case, it'll probably be 5 parts per 100. That's actually a lot. When the EPA or the city of Oak Ridge may report these things to you, it's probably going to be in parts per million or even parts per billion. So 5 parts in a million atoms is much smaller number. Okay? Actually, it's probably going to be a decimal of a part per million. Probably most of the really harmful chemicals, harmful elements like lead or mercury are going to be in the parts per trillion range for the city of Oak Ridge.
What are you doing?